4 words that can ruin a first date: socially liberal, fiscally conservative. I spotted the perfect guy when I was swiping through my dating app the other day. He seemed really kind and nice and funny, but not too overeager and too enthusiastic. Good balance of like periods and exclamation points in his bio, which I always appreciate. He had a husky puppy in his profile pics, which was beyond adorable. He liked to travel, he liked to try new restaurants and go exploring. But there was one really big red flag that I just couldn't look past. In his profile, he said, and I quote, he was socially liberal, but fiscally conservative. Socially liberal, but fiscally conservative. This political identity honestly drives me up the wall. Here are 3 big reasons why I don't think it makes that much sense to be socially liberal but fiscally conservative. Number 1, oftentimes fiscal policy and social policy go hand in hand. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "We know that it isn't enough to integrate lunch counters. What does it profit a man to be able to eat at an integrated lunch counter if he doesn't earn enough money to buy a hamburger and a cup of coffee?" In other words, social equality includes economic equality. Look, I wish we could all pay super low taxes and trust businesses would just always do the right thing and at the same time have full equality and no poverty. That would be great. But I also want to ride a unicorn to work every day, and it just doesn't work that way. If you genuinely care about a given social policy, you should also care about the fiscal efforts it takes to implement that policy and make it fully realized. For example, you might believe that every kid in America should have access to quality public education regardless of their skin color or their zip code or their parents' income. But if you don't want to pay taxes to benefit the kid in the neighborhood over who comes from a low-income family, then that belief doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of like having your big gay wedding cake and eating it too. You just can't do it. You can't have it all. Do you care about gay rights or fixing the gender wage gap? Or what about fighting climate change or combating police brutality? Or what about curbing homelessness? Cool, that's great, but you gotta put your money where your mouth is. The second reason why I don't think it makes that much sense to be socially liberal but fiscally conservative is because oftentimes conservative fiscal policy creates the mess that liberal social policy is trying to fix. Well, I'd say I'm fiscally conservative but socially very liberal. The problems are bad, but their causes are very good. That tweet is just so perfect. In today's America, being fiscally conservative is often associated with slashing education budgets or trying to take down Medicaid or curbing regulation. But if you're socially liberal, you should, in theory, be in favor of policies that run counter to those exact beliefs. You're fighting against the very efforts that you supposedly are in favor of, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The third reason why is because a lot of conservative fiscal policy isn't really that conservative. Let's take a look at past presidential administrations in modern American history. Administrations that have been viewed on the more progressive side of the spectrum have balanced budgets better, have kept deficits down, and have created more jobs. All important factors for many who align themselves with fiscal conservatism. Take President Trump. Sure, he gave massive tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans and US corporations, which is a fiscal conservative viewpoint, I guess. But in doing so, he blew up the national deficit. And the sort of weird, ironic thing to me is that socially liberal but fiscally conservative voters actually voted for Trump over Clinton in the 2016 election, according to a study by Harvard University. But history shows us that if you prioritize balanced budgets and better overall economic outcomes, you should probably vote for the more liberal candidate. Okay, honestly, maybe I should have gone on a date with that guy. I don't know, maybe I could have changed him. Famous last words. Maybe I could have changed him and made him a true liberal. And he did have a really cute puppy, so that kind of sucks. But either way, it doesn't make any sense to me to be socially liberal and fiscally conservative. It just doesn't add up. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, if it is possible to be socially liberal and fiscally conservative, and if you have a friend or family member who identifies as socially liberal but fiscally conservative, make sure to share this video with them. All right, that's it from me, you guys. Until next time, stay calm and couch on. See ya.